How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at The Nasty, Volume 3. This is, of course, about a group of young kids attempting to make a horror film during the Video Nasty era, and I have to say, this book, it really grew on me. I was a little bit unsure at the beginning because it, wasn't the darkest, scariest book, and I was expecting something more like a slasher, but this is really kind of a slice of life book, but for horror fans. And yeah, over the past few issues, getting into this book's rhythm and feeling what it's about, I really do like it. I will say this may be just a book that came along at the right time for me. I am working on a short film and we're currently doing a bunch of post-production, but yeah, it's super relatable. There is a bunch of stuff about starting to shoot the movie and, this whole gimmick with a actual slasher character that appears when you turn on the camera. It is interesting, but the bulk of the book is in two other things. One, a conversation that two of the friends have about being horror fans since childhood that is super heartfelt and really relatable, reasons why horror fans love horror, and it really does dig into the heart of the issue. Then we also get a speech with the book's new villain. This lady who's from, I think it's like the Decency Council or something, talking about the horrors of VHSs, bringing these movies and maybe a kid could see them or something. And yeah, as a lot of people say, this first happened with EC Comics. Well, not the first, but this happened with EC Comics and Tales from the Crypt, then England's Video Nasties, and now the myth of video games causing violence. It's something we see again and again, and even though this section of the book, it is a little cliched and preachy, it is something that I do think is worth reiterating because we keep doing it, and it is, I think, a very important message, and the villain character goes in a very interesting direction. We find out she has another goal that's not fully explained, and I am wondering what will happen with her. So overall, a book that's very good and relatable, and this message of people panicking about violent media is still relatable today. So overall, I did really like this issue. If you want to hear more specific thoughts and maybe see a little bit of the story and a little bit of the art, I'm going to switch to the close-up camera for a more in-depth analysis, but no spoilers. But anyway, without further ado, let's go and switch to the close-up camera. Alright, here we are inside the castle taking a closer look at The Nasty number 3. Let's go ahead and bring this closer to the camera. I think I said this last time, but I really do like the little red there in the corner. I like the old comic trope of putting a tiny version of your main character in the information. But we see Red crawling out of a pile of VHS tapes that are burning, and we actually get a face sort of hidden in the smoke here. If you read the comic, you'll learn who this face is, but it's very, very subtle. But yeah, crawling out of the debris. Anyway, the back, we get a previously on. Thank you for that. And we do get the price $4.99 and the cover artist 00311. And we get the Nightfall logo. Nightfall already sounds like a horror name. I wonder what the Volt imprint is about, but whatever. Anyway, or is Nightfall an imprint of Volt? I don't know. But anyway, flip it and we get this poster. Really nice credit page here. Story by John Lees, art by Adam Cahoon. And then after that we get into the story proper, and again, I won't be doing any major spoilers for this issue, but I do want to talk about some specifics and show you guys a little bit of the art, but let's be avoiding the end. But anyway, we do actually get an opening section that I do really love. He's a young kid going to the video store trying to see the release of Labor Day 4, that's Red's series, and as he's talking, we see the younger version of the video store owner, but she says, "Oh, someone just left with the last copy," and this is where we get a really fun sort of revelation. This is the first time he met his friend, Mira, there, and she says, "Oh, you're a horror fan too. What if we go back to my place and we watch the movie together?" So, it's a really fun, nice little introduction to see how they became friends and how long they've been friends, and I really do like it. And later in the book, and I won't show you too much of this because this is a lot of the meat of the book, is this conversation towards the end. They're talking about writing and reminiscing about the past, and I really, yeah, like I said, this conversation is a lot of the meat of the book, but talking about why they like horror movies and their memories with horror and what the community's like, I really did love this conversation, really heartfelt, and it really, if you're not a horror fan, it gets you to understand it, and if you are a horror fan, you relate to a lot of these moments. But yeah, I really do love the conversation that these two are going to have about their history. It is a really excellent part of the book. This is more slice of life than a slasher book, and that's a pretty good slice. On the film set, we are getting Red there, the imaginary friend, comes to life, but only when the camera's on, and whatever he does is undone when the camera's off, so they've stuck a temporary mask on him so that people don't notice he's the guy from the movies, and they say, "Oh, this is just a camera test," and of course, Red is going to rip off the bully's arm there, and he says, "Oh no, it's just, he's such a good actor, you're in the moment, it's special effects, see, I turned the camera off, it was all fake." I don't know how long he can keep that charade going. I will say there's also a bit where the guy talks to the bully about his past, and we get to see some interesting stuff there, and of course a check-in with his other friend, and they're kind of wondering how long they can keep this up. This book also does introduce a B-plot, though, where we get the series villain. Interesting that she didn't show up till issue 3, but hey, give everything else time to marinate. But we do get her talking about how the scary movies are corrupting children, and yeah, definitely something that you still get today. It was horror comics, then it's horror movies, and now it's video games in general, and despite all this stuff, it comes back. Even though we know video games don't cause violence, we still get these people again and again and again. And she does have a debate with the owner of the video store. "Hey, I live here, lady. I know the community. You just wandered in from the big city and you're trying to tell me what to do. And, that scene you're describing was on the poster. It's not in the movie. You've never actually seen the movie. And oh, here's a case where a kid murdered his little brother in a similar fashion to the movie. Yeah, but he never said he saw it, and you can't just take a random terrible thing from the world and blame it on the movie." And there is some elements that are a little preachy in this thing, definitely pulling up the main bullet points. But that being said, it is something I totally agree with, and to have this interesting back and forth, but it's more than the back and forth, and that's a lot of, again, what I say falls into spoiler territory. We do get another thing that happens in this town, and then an interesting reveal that it says that the villain is a little bit more, not just trying to protest. She does have another goal, and I'm curious to see how that plays out as well. So overall, another good issue. We did have a bunch of this B-plot, and I am wondering what introducing a villain into the book is going to be like. And, it's some test footage, seeing them start to almost film. I am going to get really excited when they actually start shooting the movie. I'm wondering what this is going to be paced at, because like I said, not introducing the villain to issue 3, you're taking your time, and in turn, that's really good, but I know American comics can kind of get cut off pretty early, you know? So I'm hoping that this goes for at least a full 6 just to really get everything down, you know? So fingers crossed that that we get, you know, because this story, it is slice of life. It needs time and room to marinate, and I am hoping that we get to see, you know, the whole movie all the way through post and into the screening, which, like I said, at this pace, you're going to need at least 6, probably 12 issues to do that. So I hope this book is selling well because, you know, as a horror fan, I mean, it's not as spooky and scary and grimy as I might want it to be, but it, you know, it does have the feels that I can relate to, you know. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should have similar videos in it, and you should be able to find the past 2 issues of this reviewed in there as well. So if you want to see more, you can click there and see more. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.